Hello everyone. So today we will be doing your chapter number 12, Natural Environment, Lithosphere, the realm of land. The Earth came into existence about 4,500 millions year ago. Initially, it was a hot and gaseous ball which revolved around the sun. But what happened after some time? It cooled down and got solidified. So, however, the upper part of the earth is known as the crust. Why? Because it is solid. But still, the inner part of the earth, it will go deep down the earth. We can't go because the temperature is too high. So, it is in the molten, means liquid state. If you'll see the earth, so this is how it looks. We have few continents and oceans. We have in total North America, South America, Europe, Africa, Asia, and Australia. These are our continents. If we'll talk about oceans, it is divided into continents and oceans. If we'll talk about oceans, we on the top we have Arctic Ocean. At the bottom we have Southern Ocean. Here we have this Atlantic Ocean. If you'll divide this, see, this is the equator which divides the earth into two parts. If altogether you can call it Atlantic Ocean, but if you see the upper side, you'll call it North Atlantic Ocean. This will be the South Atlantic Ocean. This is Pacific Ocean. This whole is Pacific Ocean. This is round now and square. So we have flattened the map, and we are showing you like this. That is why we can see Pacific Ocean here and here. Otherwise, it is all joined. And here we have this Indian Ocean. At the bottom, we have Antarctica. We'll talk about surface of the Earth. The Earth is basically a watery planet, which we have already read in the previous class, that it has 71% of the water and 29% remaining is the land. There are 7 huge land masses, which we call continents, which we have already discussed. North America, South America, Europe, Africa, Asia, Australia. And 5 vast oceans, which we have already discussed. You will also notice that the distribution of the land and water is highly uneven. Yes, we have already noticed. Land masses or continents are largely concentrated in the northern hemisphere. Yes, on the top side. I told you this is the equator which has divided the earth into 2 parts. So on the top, we have a lot of land parts. So that is why it is called land hemisphere. And at the bottom, we have a lot of water. That is why it is called water hemisphere. See this. A lot of continents we have here on the top. At the bottom, we have only this much of land. So that is why this is called water hemisphere. The boundaries of the continent and the oceans are determined by the coastlines. One can distinguish the face of the earth from the photographs taken from the, see this, space. Relief. What is relief? It means the difference between the highest and the lowest places in an area. Our earth has a variety of landforms such as mountains, hills, valley, plateaus, plains, etc. Besides, there is a variety of topographic features in each landform. The highest point on the earth is the Mount Everest, which is in Nepal, and the lowest point is below the sea, and the name of this below point is Mariana Trench, which is in the Pacific Ocean. Interior of the earth. The interior of the earth and its composition has for long remained a mystery and a matter of great controversy. Today, we know a lot about the structure and composition of the earth interior through the drills made in the earth and from the indirect evidences such as volcanic activities and earthquakes. Volcanic eruptions indicate that the earth interior is still in a hot and liquid state. Seismology, the most authentic source of our information about the earth interior. Seismic waves, they originate at the focus of earthquake located inside the earth. The behavior of these earthquake waves generated during the occurrence of an earthquake provided the most authentic evidence about the composition and structure of the earth. There are 3 broad types of earthquake waves: primary waves, secondary waves, and surface waves. Primary and secondary waves travel faster through rigid material than through soft and plastic material. The velocity of these waves travel through a specific part of the earth gives us an indication of the type of rock there. On the basis of this study, we have concluded that Earth has solid inner core, a liquid outer core, a soft asthenosphere, a plastic kind of a thing, and a rigid lithosphere. Now we'll talk about the layer of the Earth. So if we'll cut the Earth from here, so we have here shown you the example. The upper part is the atmosphere, which we have already learned in the previous chapter. Then next we have crust. At the bottom of crust, we have mantle, and at the bottom of mantle, we have outer core. So see this. This is the place. And now if we'll talk about this particular, we have already, this outer core has also a liquid molten metal state also. And at the bottom of it, we have solid mantle inner core. We'll talk about the crust, this part. Because atmosphere we have already learned in the previous chapter. The crust is a thin, solid and uppermost layer covering the outside of the Earth. Its thickness varies from place to place. It is thickest beneath the mountain and thinnest, thin, patla, thick, mota, under the oceans. The average thickness of the crust is about 35 kilometers. The crust is divided into two shells, SiAl, the upper shell and the lower shell. The Cl is made up of silica and aluminium. That is why Si, silica, Al, aluminium. While the Sima is made up of silica, Si, silica, Ma, magnesium. The mantle. Mantle lies below the crust, extending between 35 to 2,900 kilometers. It is composed of dense and rigid rocks and has predominance of minerals like magnesium and iron. The upper part of the mantle is known as asthenosphere, which is plastic and is in a partially molten state. The lower part is, however, solid. The core. The central part of the Earth is known as core. It consists of a dense nickel iron alloy called NiFe. Here, the temperature is estimated about 2,700 degrees Celsius. And the density of the core ranges from 9.5 to 14.5 and sometimes even higher. Plate tectonics. The word plate tectonics was firstly used by Tuzo Wilson in 1965. See, these are the plates. Pacific plate, South American plate, North American plate, African plate, Eurasian plate. So these are the plates. We are going to discuss about them now. Geologists have discovered that ocean floor is very mobile. The hot magma or lava rises up from the earth mantle along the mid-oceanic ridge and creates a new sea floor. The sea floor spreading is continuing even today. It causes the crust to break into several large pieces known as plates. Each plate is mobile in relation to the other. While plates move away from each other, magma comes out from below the plate, while plates moving towards each other result in collision. There are 6 major and 9 minor plates. Major plates are African, American, Antarctic, Australian, Eurasian, and Pacific plates. All the continents and ocean basin are made up of these plates. As a result of internal forces, folding, faulting, volcanism, earthquake occur. All these activities are called tectonics. It is important to note that the folded mountains like Alps, Himalayas, Rockies, Andes are formed due to the collision of plates. The collision pushed one plate over the another so that the material between the plates are squeezed and pushed upward to form mountain. Earth materials, minerals and rocks. The Earth's surface is composed of rocks. Rocks are the aggregate of minerals. Minerals are inorganic compounds and usually have a crystalline structure. They may be identified on the basis of properties like color, luster, texture, and hardness. Do you know that the diamond is the hardest of all the minerals, and the common salt we use every day is a mineral called halite? There are more than 1,600 minerals on the Earth, of which 200 minerals are economically important. Iron, magnesium, mica, bauxite, lead, zinc, copper, silver, etc. are some of the minerals which are of economic importance. Rock has been defined as a compact mass of 2 or more minerals. Rock may consist of only one mineral, such as rock salt. We generally think that rock is a hard object, But if we'll talk about geographically, it may be hard as a granite or soft as clay. There are many varieties of rock. On the basis of their formation, however, there are three types: igneous, sedimentary, and metamorphic. What are igneous rocks? They are the primary rocks because they are formed first. The word ignis is a Latin word which means fire, which suggests their volcanic origin. They were formed by solidification of the magma. There are two major types of igneous rocks: intrusive and extrusive. Intrusives are formed in different shapes from the solidification of magma at a great depth inside the earth, whereas extrusives are found on the earth's surface. Gabbro is an example of intrusive rock, while basalt and rhyolite are common extrusive rocks. Igneous rocks cover a large portion of the earth crust. These rocks contain valuable minerals like iron ore, silver, gold, zinc, lead, bauxite, etc. These rocks are less susceptible to external forces of nature which cause weathering and erosion. What about sedimentary rocks? They are known as secondary rocks. Why? Because they are formed from the sediments derived from the pre-existing rocks. They are deposited in a layer sequence which consolidate later. These rocks are laid down by the sea, lakes, streams, glaciers, winds, etc. They are therefore known as stratified rocks. Most of the sedimentary rocks are deposited in water bodies. Due to pressure, these layers of sediments are squeezed and cemented together. Sandstone, shale, gravel, etc. are some examples. These rocks contain fossils, means remains of plants and animals also. Coal, petroleum, natural gas, they are found in these rocks. These minerals are of organic origin and therefore called fossil fuels. They are very important. These rocks also provide us building material for constructing dams, buildings, and roads. These rocks are highly susceptible to external forces. Now the third one, metamorphic rocks. They are formed due to the process of metamorphism, which means change in form. The upper two rocks, which we have already studied, they undergo transformation in their properties, appearance, characters due to the intense heat and pressure. Like granite, it's the igneous rocks, changes into gneiss, while limestone, it's a sedimentary rock, which changes into marble. But metamorphic rocks are very hard and massive. They do not contain fossils, as fossils of the original sedimentary rocks are destroyed during metamorphism. These rocks are of great value for industries and for construction of buildings. For example, marble, slate, granite, mica, these are the few examples of metamorphic rocks. Now, the last topic is rock cycle. What is rock cycle? The three classes of rocks are constantly forming from one another in a continuous circuit, which is known as rock cycle. It has been given here. Go through this. When igneous and metamorphic rocks are exposed on the Earth's surface, they are weathered and eroded. This broken material is carried away by the rivers, wind, glaciers, waves, and get deposited in layers as sedimentary rocks. See here, we have the example of these three rocks. When sedimentary and igneous rocks are subjected to change due to heat and pressure, they get transferred into metamorphic rocks. So this cycle goes on and on and on, and these rocks keep on forming. So this is all about this chapter. I hope you all have understood. Go through it, read it. It's very interesting chapter actually. All right, that's it for today. Thank you so much. See you in the next class.